Number 40, the rookie, the number 5 pick in the draft, Tua Tagovailoa. That is going to be number 40. Again, this is not a guy that I need to see him play in the NFL. Now, listen, I wasn't like a huge fan of him at being picked at number 5, right? When you pick a guy at number 5, to me, you're saying at some point in the next few years, you think he's going to be one of the 10 best quarterbacks in football. I'm not so sure about that. That's why I pushed back against that. But he's certainly, right away, I know he's one of the 40 best quarterbacks in the NFL. Listen, he's got a quick release. He's played a lot of big-time football. He's got a good arm. I'm not going to sit here and say it's a great arm like you and I discussed during the draft process. He's got very good feet in the pocket. Do I think he's a little overrated, as you know, in the national eye? Yes, I think he's gotten a little too much credit for the machine of Alabama, and people are just giving the quarterback the credit. And, yeah, maybe there's a little lack of experience of the guys that I had compared to 41 or 42 or 43. But that lack of experience is not enough for me to say it overcomes the fact that I think Tua is more talented than a lot of those guys that are behind him, too.
At number 39, who's on your list?
Dwayne Haskins, Washington Redskins. And, listen, honestly, going into this exercise, I thought I would probably have Dwayne Haskins higher than this. And this doesn't mean he can't get higher than where he is. I mean, I recognize there's potential with Dwayne Haskins. He does have a really good arm. We talked about his size. I do think size is a skill. But I think between what I went back and watched in preseason football last week and then just some of his throws I watched during the regular season, it led me to believe that I just don't know what Dwayne Haskins is yet. And that's really why he's 39. I don't know where. Again, I see talent, but I also see immaturity and rawness and a guy that's really still learning to play the position. So would I be shocked if he ended up in the top 20 by the end of the season? No, I can't say that I would, because I remember seeing things at Ohio State going, damn, that guy can throw it and make some throws. Number 38, Chicago Bears. I don't know. Is he the starter? Is he backup? I don't know what the hell he'll be right now, but it's Mitchell Trubisky. Yeah.
That's a huge drop, pal. That's a giant drop. It's an 18-player drop from last year when he was 20th.
Well, listen, that was probably one of the more controversial ones on my draft, on my top 40 last year. It was. And hey, listen, you know me. I'm honest. I self-scout myself, and that part of the rankings is so close. But Mitchell Trubisky, I think, has digressed. I think that's the biggest thing that I look at.
At 37, what do we see?
Well, we're going back to the rookie list here. Justin Herbert. Yes, the number 6 pick on the Los Angeles Chargers, and, of course, out of Oregon. And, again, I know, he played in college. How do you know he's better than this guy? I get it. I understand. But Justin Herbert's played a lot of college football at a really high level.
4-year starter. Yep.
Right. 4-year starter. A lot of reps. In a non-quarterback-friendly offense, too, I'd like to say, where he really got a lot done and made a lot of plays. And I'm into that again. When there's nothing there to be had, a really awesome quarterback makes sure there's something there to be had. And he can do that. But, also, again, for the guys that he's in front of, I think he's going to be every bit as good as the decision maker Mitchell Trubisky is. I know he's a better thrower than Mitchell Trubisky right now. I don't have to see that. This guy's smart. He had the highest Wonderlic out of all the quarterbacks in the draft this past year. So this is no idiot, and I just look at him, and my thoughts on him. I mean, I think he has superstar capabilities.
At number 36, this is going to be a fun one. I see the name. I'll let you reveal it.
Yeah, and Taysom Hill, quarterback, New Orleans Saints. And, hey, you're right. This is a fun one, okay? And Taysom Hill, I know a lot of people out there are going to sit there and go, he's never thrown a touchdown as an NFL quarterback. I understand. I get it. He's also been, coached by Sean Payton the last few years. I've seen a progression of every year in the preseason and the season. Excuse me here, I'm burping. I've seen a progression every year, though, preseason and the season when he does make throws, of a guy that I go, whoa. Every year I've gone, whoa. And I remember last year, and I think one of their first preseason games was like the Chargers out in L.A., and he got a lot of reps. And I just remember going, Oh, man. Taysom Hill's the future for the New Orleans Saints.
To number 35, perhaps the heir apparent, Chris.
Yeah, well, and it's Jarrett Stidham for the New England Patriots. He is the heir apparent. Not perhaps. I'll be shocked if he's not, Ahmed. That's what I'm going to say. And again, I understand people are going to sit there and go, he hasn't played or started an NFL game yet. I get that. I know. This guy was a first-round talent, in my opinion, coming out of the draft 2 years ago. You know I liked him a lot. He killed it in the preseason last year. He absolutely, absolutely killed it. I mean, he's a good decision maker. He's a very good athlete. He can really make plays within the pocket, moving around, throwing the ball different ways. He's a pure thrower of the football. Like, it's not a great arm. It's a real good arm. That's what it is. He certainly can make any throw and has a lot of different variety of throws. Tyrod Taylor. Yes, I know. I had to sit there and look. I got so many quarterbacks and names and numbers. But Tyrod Taylor, Los Angeles Chargers. You know, I love Tyrod Taylor in a lot of ways. I disrespected him last year and made him the 40th best quarterback. Tyrod Taylor, another guy that's got, like, you know, hey, he's got his experience, you know, has big-time talent. You know, I wish he'd let it just hang out a little bit more. You know, my big issue with Tyrod Taylor is he's too conservative. He leaves too many plays and yards on the field when he's the starting quarterback. That's why they got him out of Buffalo. That's why when he hurt his wrist in Cleveland, Baker Mayfield came in there, and right away we were like, whoa, 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 because there's a lack of an aggressive mindset with Tyrod Taylor. And if he just was more aggressive that way, he'd be a starting quarterback for somebody already, and he wouldn't have to worry about that team drafting anybody or anything like that. But huge arm, Ahmed, huge arm. I mean, can launch it 60 yards off his back foot, can do anything that way.
We're up to 33 in the Chris Sims Top 40 Countdown with some consultation with his father. 33, who you got, Chris?
Jameis Winston, backup quarterback, New Orleans Saints. And again, you know, just so we know, my criteria, I'm a head coach. I'm on the hot seat. I prioritize what quarterbacks I want and want to rank them and trust them to be the quarterback of my football team. And, hey, Jameis Winston, I love his talent. You know that. I mean, when he's on his game, it's as good as anybody in football. It's top 10 talent in the league. It's, wow, what a throw. Whoa, what a play. All of that. But if I'm a head coach, too, I'm also going, man, do I really, when my butt's on the hot seat and I could be fired, do I really want to go with Jameis Winston into that year? No, he's not in the trust tree or the circle of trust in that way. So, you know, he's just too careless with the football, as you know. Do I think a guy like Sean Payton might be able to turn him around and change his aspect or how he looks at the game? Certainly. But Jameis Winston has big-time talent. I think my father would agree. I mean, his good is as good as anybody in the game. Number 32, Case Keenum. The Cleveland Browns, Case Keenum. I got to get used to saying that. But, yes, you know, Case Keenum, again, you know, he's one of those guys that, you know, just gets crapped on too much, in my opinion. He's underrated. I know he doesn't, you know, have the Hollywood, you know, movie star good looks, and he's not an Adonis when he walks into the room. He's not your prototypical, you know, franchise-type quarterback. So people are always looking to replace him or move on or do anything like that. You know, his talent, it's good. You know, yeah, it doesn't jump off the screen always to where you go, oh, my gosh, wow, this guy's unbelievable. Look at him run or throw lasers all over the field. No, he's not that. But as you see in my rankings, I think he's a low-level starter or one of the best backups in football.
Number 31 in your list, Chris.
Nick Foles, Chicago Bears, yes. And because of my rankings and the fact that I got him at 31 and Mitchell Trubisky at 38, that tells you who I think's better and who should start. And that is Nick Foles, yes. You know, Nick Foles, again, poise, battle-tested, you know, always calm in pressure situations. And I think the thing that I always go back to that's more impressive than anything to me with Nick Foles, because he's not going to make plays running around. He's not going to make a whole lot of plays scrambling or do anything like that. But, man, Ahmed, when you talk about pressure, the pocket collapsing, his ability to make those kind of throws with people around him, that is to me why he's a starting quarterback in football. Because it's a good arm. It's not special. It's probably, if you took the top 32 starting quarterbacks in football, he's definitely in the back half of that, probably somewhere between 20 and 32. But because of that size and his ability to throw 25 and 30-yard footballs with ease, with physical ease, because he's got big hands and long arms and he's, 6'6.5". Those are the things that jump out to me about Nick Foles. And
at number 30, what quarterback's name shows up?
Well, the guy that just made Nick Foles leave town, and that's Gardner Minshew. Oh, Minshew the Ginsu. Gardner Minshew, again, he's an exciting football player. First off, he brings something to the team and the organization more than what's on the field. And do I take that into account, when I'm sitting here ranking these players? Hey, when it's two players that I think physically are the same, but I think one guy has an edge about him and has some natural leadership qualities and charisma about him, and you could see teammates follow him, I give that guy the advantage when there's a tie and there's nothing else. Gardner Minshew does have that. You see the fan base rallied around him. You could tell the team rallies around him. He's got an edge in which he plays. Paul, he's big, and he can make some things happen when there's nothing there to be had. Yeah, number 29 is, I'm blind. Teddy Bridgewater. Okay, sorry. Almost said the wrong name there. That would have been scary. But Teddy Bridgewater will be my number 29. And, Teddy Bridgewater, there is something about his appeal as a leader of your football team. And I saw Matt Rule on PFT today. He kind of made a comment about that too, about how guys in the locker room follow Teddy Bridgewater. And then, hey, when you talk about on the field, it's not always going to blow you away. I wish he was more aggressive. Does he leave some yards on the field at time where I go, man, if he just came out with an aggressive mindset, he might have had an extra 150 yards throwing the football today. Yeah, I've been frustrated by Teddy Bridgewater that way. But the big thing with Bridgewater is he is smart. He takes care of the football. He is accurate. And once he gets a feel and some comfort level for the game, he will start to take some chances. And when he does, he is capable of making some throws and some plays on the run, to where this is why I just gave him a slight advantage over Gardner Minshew. Number 28, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Miami Dolphins. He is awesome to watch. I think, this is why I got Ryan Fitzpatrick at 28. When he's hot, he can do things like what we saw in Week 17 last year. He's throwing lasers all over the field against the New England Patriots, and you're just going, this is unbelievable. He's just making one play after another. He's tough as hell, hangs in the pocket. He'll run and lower his shoulder, and he acts like he's 250 pounds. So he brings some excitement to the team that way. But the reason he's number 28 and, teams always look to replace him is because he is inconsistent. And he can have moments of, holy cow, how did he miss that open receiver? Or, holy cow, he's missed the last four receivers who are all open. And then he can also be careless with the football, as we know. So he's a very hot and cold type quarterback that way. Number 27, the Red Rocket, the Red Rifle, whatever he is. It's Andy Dalton.
He's red.
Yeah. But like some of these guys we've talked about, there's no glaring weakness to his game. I mean, he's got a really good arm. It's better than Teddy Bridgewater, Gardner Minshew, Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean, this guy is an easy, effortless thrower.
Yes.
It's for NFL starters, it's probably above NFL average strength, somewhere in there, not much above it, but throws a pretty ball. It's perfect spirals. They're easy to catch. Deep ball is pretty good. Hey, is it always been perfect in clutch time? No. Has he had moments of being careless with the football? Definitely. And I think the reason he's in the position he's in, and, like some of the other guys we've talked about or whatever, I just don't – he's not the type of talent that, hey, our team's beat up, our defense is hurt, or we're not at full strength on the offensive side. He's not the kind of guy that you go, oh, okay, well, we'll give the ball to Andy today, and we're going to let him throw it 45 times. He'll carry us through, and he'll give us a chance to win at the end of the day. No, that's not what he is. He's not. But if you give him some support and a little run game and some receivers to throw to, he's going to make good decisions, nice throws, and he knows where to go with the ball. And he'll occasionally make a wow type throw.
Number 26 on the Chris Sims top 40 quarterback list is
Joe Burrow, quarterback, Cincinnati Bengals, the number 1 pick in the draft. And yes, I know for everybody out there, I know we haven't seen Joe Burrow play football in the NFL yet. Listen, I am very confident in saying he's going to be good. I don't know if he's going to be great or awesome. I'm not sure of that. But I think everything I studied coming out in the draft makes me believe that he's going to be great. It does. Now, he's got to go out and prove that on the field. I understand that. But at the same time, I saw enough in college to know the guy is going to come in and be able to run an NFL offense, make every throw you need to make. And more importantly, when you play in a bad team, usually you're under pressure as a quarterback. And to me, that was where – Joe Burrow just was out of this world good at LSU. I mean, out of this world good. Dad and I have talked about this with Joe Burrow. It's amazing for the team that won the national championship and went 15-0, and he's the number 1 pick, how bad his pass protection was on a week-to-week basis, and how it actually never came to really affect the football game because he is amazing in the pocket. He is amazing at escaping danger, and he is amazing at making big throws when people are all around him and danger is in the pocket, and he can still make a 20-yard strike throw down the field. So that's why I got Joe Burrow where he's at. 25, Drew Lock, Denver Broncos. And,
wow.
Hey, we're going to talk about some of these other guys that are just right in front of Drew Lock here in a second, but I'm not going to lie, Drew Lock really excites me as a football player. I mean, that's the first thing. I mean, I was a huge fan of him coming out in the draft. I thought he was the second best quarterback in the draft that year behind Kyler Murray. I really did. He's got like a lot of things that I look at to go, ooh, the guy could be great. First off, he's just a really natural, pure thrower of the football. And the ball explodes out of his hands with great ease. And I don't care where he's at, whether he steps into it and lets it go, he can throw that 100-mile-per-hour fastball.
It's number 24 on your top 40 quarterback countdown.
Yeah, number 24, and here we go, okay? Yes, it's Jared Goff, Los Angeles Rams, all right? And listen, well, first off, the first thing I want to say is if you were just looking at that graphic right there, can we put that picture back up if by any chance you got that? That to me is one of the issues right here with Jared Goff, and I'm going to talk about this more. But this, Dad, I wish you could see it. He's got the ball up in a throwing position. The arm angle's broke. The ball's pointed in a weird position, and
the back of the ball is pointed up, right?
Yeah. This way, it's like it's like halfway up. It's not all the way. It's kind of tilted.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I guarantee I know the picture. I've seen it many times. But go ahead.
But very, very rare. Very rare to see a quarterback ever in that position. Okay, and listen, with Jared Goff, hey, I understand. Listen, he doesn't excite me nearly as much as Drew Lock. I think Drew Lock has a way higher ceiling, is way more physically gifted than Jared Goff. I think he can do things that are just more special. But I'm going to give Jared Goff some respect. RESPECT. That's what it means to me. The guy has won some games and went to a Super Bowl. So I can't, as much as I think the ceiling for Drew Lock is better, my premises for doing this list, again, is I'm a coach. My ass is on the hot seat. And here's my quarterback pecking order for if my first guy goes down and so on. So, yeah, I think from that standpoint, okay, I trust Jared Goff a hair more than Drew Lock.
Number 23, Chris.
Sam Darnold, New York Jets, right? Sam Darnold, hey, do I still have a few questions about Sam Darnold? Certainly. I mean, we haven't seen him play a full 16-game season yet. But I saw improvements from year 1 to year 2 with Sam Darnold in some areas that I wanted to see improvement. One of my issues with Sam Darnold going into the 2019 season was I thought he was a below-average down-the-field thrower. And when I say down the field, I mean anything above 18 yards, 20 yards, anything like that. I didn't love that. He was better last year. I don't know what the stats and numbers say, but that's what my eyes told me. And then, the other things about Sam Darnold that are positive, okay? He's got a very quick release. You talk about getting the ball to your hand in a hurry in a short passing game, screens. I mean, he can get it out of his hand about as good as anybody in the NFL, not named maybe Aaron Rodgers, as far as quickness of throwing it. Daniel Jones. We're staying in New York, baby. DJNY. That's what I call him. You know, there's DKNY, right? Like Donegal in New York. Well, This is Daniel Jones, New York. Daniel Jones, to me, blew me out of the water in his rookie season. Come up and just throw flames and lasers all over the field, bombs. He can do that, but he's a phenomenal passer, too. And what I mean by that is pinpoint accuracy, timing, you know, a rhythm thrower who can throw with anticipation sometimes. So he really has it all. Oh, baby, we're going to Cleveland because I believe in. Yes, sir, Baker Mayfield. What's up, Baker Mayfield? He's coming in, quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. And, you know, Baker Mayfield certainly wasn't his best year in 2019. I know that. But, you know, the one thing, Paul, that I go back to, and I know he threw some interceptions, and that's concerning, and we'll get into that here in a minute. But the one thing I really, when I went back and watched the film, and really why I have him here is, man, does he make a lot of game-changing throws. That's one thing he does. Flips field position or, you know, the offense can't get it going, and he makes a big throw down the middle of the field or down deep down the sideline to kind of flip the momentum of the game. And that's what I like about Baker Mayfield. Awesome in the pocket. I mean, he's like Manny Pacquiao, how he can dance around the pocket and buy time. Right, number 20, Jimmy Garoppolo, San Francisco 49ers. Incredible quick release. Love his ability to throw accurate throws with cockeyed feet and feet all over the place in the trash of the pocket. I mean, he's really good at that. He really is. You know, has good movement in the pocket, too, just to buy time and find a little alley to throw, all of that. You know, very accurate in the intermediate to short passes. He can pinpoint it. And he can throw the ball from different arm angles, too. Derek Carr, Las Vegas Raiders. Man, he's got it all at the quarterback position. Quick release, good arm. You know, can throw with sidearm, never really loses control of the ball, throws perfect spirals. You know, you don't ever see like Derek Carr throw an interception and go, whoa, that missed the target by like 7 feet. No, he might make a bad decision where you go, oh, that was stupid. But the ball is never lost like in the realm of the receiver being able to catch the ball that way. He is smart and a good decision maker. He's a better athlete than people give him credit for. He's a better athlete than Jimmy Garoppolo. I know that, and he's got a better arm than Jimmy Garoppolo, too. That's why I gave him the advantage here. Well, number 18 is a guy that you referenced already a little bit, and that is Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills. The stats don't say it all about Josh Allen. You know, again, context matters. Josh Allen puts a lot of pressure on the defense because of all the different things he can do at the quarterback position. His skill set is special. I think it's fair to say he's the second best running quarterback in football behind Lamar Jackson.
Number 17, Chris, on your top 40 quarterback countdown list.
It's Phillip Rivers, all right? Phillip Rivers, Indianapolis Colts. I still got to get used to saying that. I almost said Chargers. You talk about a guy that's still as tough as there is, hanging in the pocket, waiting for receivers to come open downfield. You know, not afraid to pull the trigger into a tight window down the field or throw a ball into an area where he goes, man, my big Mike Williams, he can jump up and get this over the middle. I'm going to put it high over the middle. Whoa, 25-yard completion. Holy cow, here come the Chargers. I mean, there is just so much of that. But as we know, the negative is, you know, being careless with the football at times, especially in some big moments. And 2 of those were on national TV. But I don't want it to be, you know, mistaken here. He can still make a lot of plays. Number 16, I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of flack from this. I got a lot of flack last year from putting in number 10. Drew Brees at 16 at the age of whatever he is, 40, 41.
41.
I mean, that's amazing. First off, I just want everybody to know that he's still playing at this level at this age, and certainly playing at a level that you can win a Super Bowl with the team around you. And he can do that. He can lead them to a Super Bowl this year, his last year playing in the NFL. But for anybody to think like he's still in the top 10 or maybe in the top 5, like this is all I have to say to you. the Saints wouldn't be pushing him out the door for Taysom Hill if he was still a top 5 or a top 10 quarterback. Like, that's all you need to know. If he was still playing at that high of a level, they would go, hey, we'll sign you to a few more years on the contract or whatever it may be. So I'm just giving everybody a little context clue. That should speak to something. Tom Brady, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yes, sir. His arm is still real good. Is it great like it used to be? No, but it's still real good to where he can make all the throws everywhere around the field. He can throw the 20-yard out routes or the deep balls, or people are in his face and he can throw a deep post down the middle. He does have that explosiveness still available in his arm. You know, of course, like a Drew Brees, his ability to dissect and read and react to a defense and react and make the proper throw. It's genius the way he is. He's like Van Gogh with the quarterback position. He's an artist. I mean, he really is. Yeah, Big Ben Roethlisberger. That's the next guy up on the Chris Sims list at number 14. And some of the social media videos I saw him throwing workouts with players. When I saw that and the way he was throwing and how aggressively he was throwing and letting it go, I went, all right, Big Ben's going to be okay. I've seen enough.
But he
to
was
know that.
6 last year. But he was 6 last year.
I get it. I know. He's still a baller. There's just some other guys who've got a little deeper in their career and a little bit better in the NFL. And, of course, Big Ben is getting to an age where you start to go, we know it's going to decline, but still big time in a lot of ways, Paul. First off, like one of the greatest deep ball throwers in the history of football.
Yes.
I think that's where it starts. I mean, it doesn't matter if you watch, last year, 2 years ago, whenever it may be. And I know last year is a small sample size because he got hurt in week 2. But the year before that, so many big-time throws. Number 13, Minnesota Vikings, Kirk Cousins. Yes, Kirk Cousins. An unbelievably read and react quarterback. I've never seen anybody who can drop back, evaluate the defense, and just let it rip as quickly as anybody out there. He knows what he's looking for in a defense. He knows how to read it, and he's very aggressive in his decisions. Makes a lot, Paul, of, I don't want to say necessarily high-level throws, but like medium-level throws on the difficulty scale. You break down Minnesota's offense, there's not a lot of easy quarterback completions. It's not a quarterback-friendly offense. It's not. Yes, it's Arizona Cardinals time. It's Kyler Murray time. You could argue he's the fastest quarterback in football, him or Lamar Jackson, right? Certainly one of the best scrambling quarterbacks there is in football. His arm is off the charts strong. I mean, off the charts. He's got a cannon, and he can throw it any which way he wants. And then I think the other aspect that's just as good is his release is lightning. I mean, from all those years in this, Cliff Kingsbury, Red Raider offense, he just knows how to get it out of his hand. I mean, he can really do that. Number 11, Tennessee Titans, Ryan Tannehill. This year was a magical year, and I think he was on a football team that finally showed what he has and what you can do to utilize his talents. Just as one of the most pure throwers in the NFL there is. And what I mean by that is just I can't find throws where it doesn't come out as a perfect spiral. And, more than times than not, the ball is just right here. And, like, his degree of missing instead of hitting right here is, like, here. Like, that's a bad throw. That's where you're like, whoa, that ball got away from Tannehill. That was a foot outside. That's really how pure he is. Very catchable ball.
Number 10 in the Chris Sims Top 40 Quarterback Countdown for the year 2020 is
Big Cam Newton, who's not on a team. It's odd to say that because usually I say a guy's name and say the team he plays for. But here I am talking about a top 10 quarterback who has no team right now, which is insane, right? He's so good and talented and threatening that no team wants to bring Cam Newton in to be the backup. He's going to threaten almost every quarterback in football except the elite superstars, because we've had this discussion. When you come off the practice field, the team and the coaches are going to come in going, damn, did you see Cam Newton throwing lasers around there today? Did you see Cam Newton break out and run away from our middle linebacker? Did you see there's just going to be constant one after another, and that's going to cause division in the locker room and doubt on who should be the starting quarterback. And that's why he's on the street. The guy's talented, and I know he's been injured. I've seen enough on social media, and he's 31 years old, and it's 2020 that I go, he's going to be fine.
You're number 9 on your list, Chris.
We're going to your hometown, baby. Matthew Stafford will be my number 9 quarterback going into the 2020 season. One of the greatest arms and throwers in the history of the sport. Doesn't get a lot of credit for that because he's in the division with the guy with the greatest arm in the history of the sport, in my opinion, and Aaron Rodgers. I mean, maybe Patrick Mahomes will trump that at some point too, but right now he's the greatest thrower I've ever seen.
Number 8 on the Chris Sims top 40 quarterback countdown.
Number 8, we're going to Texas, baby. We're going to Dak Prescott, number 8 quarterback in the Chris Sims top 40 quarterback countdown. Him and Matt Stafford, I had really close, okay? But I give Dak Prescott the advantage because of some of what he brings to that football team. There is somewhat of an edge he brings, all right? I know that. I've been around him, but I've also been told that, let alone his ability to run and the quarterback design runs. And then, again, this is one of the best deep ball throwers in football too. And don't think he quite gets the credit he does for making off-schedule plays and throws. Everybody looks at the Dallas Cowboys and just goes, well, they have talent. That's easy. Yeah, they have talent, but they weren't like serving it up on a silver platter for him.
We're going to number 7. Who is that, Chris?
That is Matty Ice. Matt Ryan, Atlanta Falcons, number 7 quarterback in my countdown. But where I give him a better advantage of, or give him, more respect than maybe what we call those quarterbacks who need a little bit of a system or precision passers and don't always argue with great physical ability. Where he's different than them is Matt Ryan, is scary good running around the pocket and making plays when things break down. Their offensive line has stunk the last 2 years. I mean, stunk. I would really argue the last few years, I'm more impressed with the way Matt Ryan's played the last few years than I am in 2016 when he's the MVP of football.
Number 6, and that person is?
We're going to Pennsylvania, okay? Carson Wentz, Philadelphia Eagles. The big soldier, number 11, Big Red. I mean, come on. Does anybody need to see anything else? I mean, I don't know. Did everybody
playoff
watch?
Success, maybe. Playoff
Well,
success.
yep, that's what we'd like to see. Okay, yes, you're right. But damn, they're not in the playoffs last year unless they have Carson Wentz at quarterback. That's really all I could say.
At number 5, take it away.
Lamar Jackson, the MVP of football. And yes, there I am, Tiger King, a.k.a. the Chicken King, okay?
Leave that up there.
Yeah, you like that, don't you? But,
yes.
Hey, we know Lamar Jackson, awesome, exciting, one of the most explosive players in football. Certainly dangerous in so many different ways. The skill set is vast. We know the running is electric. It's as good as anybody we've ever seen in football at the quarterback position other than Michael Vick. The throwing continues to go on an upward arc.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a natural thrower. This is the one thing I think, and this is where I know when he was coming out of Louisville, I sang his praises and for a long time said he was the best quarterback in the draft because that's what I saw, Paul. I saw a quarterback who wanted to throw in the pocket and deliver the ball to his wide receivers. And then when things broke down, he said, hey, I'm out of here. I'm going to run, right? And I do mean he's a natural thrower, Paul. I think he's one of those guys. He can pick up a baseball, football, whatever object, skip rocks on a lake, whatever you want to do. I think if we went out and threw it with him, we go, man, that sucker can throw the ball. Woo, he can throw the rock, whatever it is. He can do it all.
Who is your 4th quarterback?
Deshaun Watson. He's so freaking awesome. He is arguably one of the best deep ball throwers in football. That's to me where I just think he's special. They design plays for him to throw the ball down the field. The degree of difficulty of the throws he's asked to make a lot. They're not easy throws. And Yeah, I think with his ability to how he can throw the ball so high in the air, so he can do it different ways. He can throw a 50-yard bomb where it's just a quick little banana up and down, and then he could throw a 50, 60-yard bomb where, it's the arches of St. Louis where it goes way up in the air and just falls out of the sky. He can do it any which way that way. And to me, that's where he's special, and that's where he really stresses defenses out because we know he can scramble. But then you got to go, well, shit, we better worry about the other 50 yards behind us, too, because he can bombs it away over us that way, too. And that's, to me, the thing he probably does best.
So who is it at number 3?
Oh, I almost want to cry, but I can't believe it. Yep. Oh, Aaron Rodgers. I think you're the greatest quarterback of all time. But in 2020, you're number 3.
How is that?
Oh, man. Hurts me to say it, man. Hurts me to say it.
And, Chris, he's the only one of these quarterbacks in the top 5 who dropped. How'd this happen?
What? But here's probably my biggest thing with Rodgers, okay? Is just I think he's too careful with the football. I think that's the biggest reason or the biggest thing about his game that I don't like right now. And, you remember we saw that little spat between him and LaFleur early in the year, right?
Yeah.
That's what it was about. LaFleur said, man, there was a guy open on a 20-yard in cut. He was open. Why didn't you throw it to him? And I think Rodgers, because of, one, he had to play like that for a while in Green Bay, and it's kind of the style he's used to. 2, I think he's a little careful in times where I want to go, wait, within the normal rhythm of the 5-step, take a hitch and throw to number 1, that guy was open. Yeah, the window was tight, but you're freaking Aaron Rodgers. Throw it in there.
Who do you got at 2?
Well, it's Russell Wilson at number 2, right? Russell Wilson. Let's start respecting the greatness of number 3 up at Seattle. He's one of the greatest one-man shows in the NFL. I mean, he does everything for his football team, let alone plays quarterback for a team that doesn't play a quarterback-friendly style of football.
It's like an NBA game, which you're not watching right now, but no matter what's happening in the second quarter, you're going to turn it on with a minute left in the game, and it's going to be close. And that's like what you get with Russell Wilson. And, hey, 75, 80% of the time, it seems like he wins.
It does. It's unbelievable. He is a force of nature.
Up to number 1. It'd be fun to have some suspense here, but obviously there is zero suspense, just an explanation as to why this guy's on top.
My homie, our homie, my homie. Whenever he's on, I watch my homie, my homie. Patrick Mahomes and me. Yep, that's my song for him.
Yes.
Yep, thank you very much. Thank you. Please,
finish.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Where do you start? First off, I think this is where you start, Paul. I mean, there is no weakness to Patrick Mahomes' game right now. There's none. I don't care. There's literally nothing. I can say
the fact that he falls away, kind of falls back, doesn't set his feet.
And when he starts missing the target, then I'll start complaining about it.
Right.
But it doesn't fucking matter. He hits the target. I've never seen anybody like it in my life. Again, you'd like it from the quarterback school standpoint of him being a little bit more strict technique-wise, but it's what makes him him. And he certainly, when the technique is right, I mean, come on, it's a walk in the park. But it's, to what you're, it's the Super Bowl throw. Oh, it's, a 14-yard drop off his back foot and then a 55-yard throw. Like, what? Don't do that, but, it doesn't matter for him. It's on the screws almost every time he does it. So that's where it's special. I mean, he's truly a special, special talent, Patrick Mahomes. He's the most creative thrower I've ever seen. And that's crazy because Aaron Rodgers is really creative. But I've never seen a guy who can just do it more different ways, sidearm, no look, just like flick it with his wrist. He's got more delivery points and ability to get it done than anybody I've ever seen play quarterback in my life.